I know I keep harping on this, but I want everybody to wake up to it. How many times have you seen that tree or a tree? How many times have you seen pavement? How many times have you seen an intersection, stoplight, a sign, a brick, some straw, two people holding hands? I don't guess you see that much anymore. Those they were like 70 years old walking down the street holding hands. But anyway, how often do you see these trash cans and these fences and these? It's the same stuff over and over. Book bag they had a book bag, trash on the street. Pavers in the driveway, concrete walkways. How many times have you seen that? In the movie Live, Die, Repeat. I think it was Live, Die, Repeat. The Edge of Tomorrow, I think. Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise went through the repeat like so many times it was not even funny. Just like the Doctor Who movie where he went through the repeat 1,000,000,000 times to save Clara. So Tom Cruise went through the repeat so many times. So Emily Blunt, he said to her, "You want some coffee?" She said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, yeah, you like 2 cubes, 2 sugars." She looked at him. She says, how many times have we done this? Because it was a time travel movie too. How many times have we done this? He didn't want to tell her. And she said, how many times? He said, I've lost count. And so she knew that he loved her. Maybe not romantically, but she knew he loved her to try to save her. She said, why? And then she ran. It made her mad. So she grabbed some keys, went to the helicopter. He said, don't get in the helicopter. You will not make it. You'll be killed. How many times do we have to do this, people? An intersection, a telephone pole, a tree, people walking, people holding their cell phones. How many times do we have to do this to wake you up that this is a simulation and it's a simulated training program to get you born again? How many times do we have to do this? You go through the same stuff over and over every day of your life. And it can be monotonous if you don't see the spiritual. And you might say, well, I want to go here. I want to go to this football game, basketball game, concert. I want to buy this house. I want to buy this car. I want to do this. I want this job. It's still the same. Even if you get it, there's something else. The eye's never full, the Bible says. How many times do we have to do this till somebody says, hey, I see the repeat. I see what you're saying now. How do I get saved? Trust in Jesus. Believe on Jesus. Receive Christ into your heart. You must be born again. How many times do you have to go to a stoplight and say, I've done this before? I've done this before. I've turned this steering wheel before, even if it's not this car. I've patched that glass right there before. I had to go get a tire today on this side of the car. I had to go get a new tire. I've done that before. How many times? How many times do we have to keep showing it over and over and over? The signs are everywhere. The signs are everywhere. How many times before you cry out to God and say, Lord, save me. I want to escape this drudgery repeat, get some truth, get born again, grow spiritually, set my affections on things above. Because this is the same. I don't care if it's politics. I don't care if it's music. There's always a new musician on the scene. Think about it. What happened to Britney Spears? She went down, and who took her place? What's the lady's name? What happened to any singer? Michael Jackson, he's gone. Now somebody took his place. What happened to Mike Tyson? He's gone. Now it's Tyson Fury. You know, what happened to the soccer player that was married to Shakira? He was well, maybe that was a different one. Anyway, what happened to Shakira? She kind of crashed and burned. She's trying to come back. But the other soccer player, what happened to him? Something to where people got mad at him about one of the top soccer players. Somebody got mad at him. I forget now. It just keeps repeating, people. How many times do you look at the sky and see the rain or the sun and say, oh, this has already happened before? It just keeps repeating over and over and over. It never ends. The purpose is to get you to see it, to get you in the repeat, to get you in the, if God has to put you through the dark to get you saved, he's going to do it. But really, you're in the dark if you're not saved. And so the depression and the discouragement and all that's because you're in the dark. It's you. It's me, oh Lord, standing in need of prayer. The same stuff's happening all the time. Why get distracted with the things of this world? Why would you get distracted with that university or this food shop or this vape shop? I mean, they go in there, and that's what I was trying to tell her. I don't need a vape. I don't need marijuana. I'm in that state 24/7. I don't need a drug to be high. I'm already way high than most people will ever get. And it's sad because I'm trying to show, because look, if a lot of people wake up, they'll teach me something. I promise you, Instagram, I'm gonna go get me some milk. I feel pretty good when I drink some milk. It's like a good feeling. Instagram is, from what I see, is the only free speech platform right now. There are people are talking about some wild stuff on there. I'm not saying I agree with everything they say, but it's the only free speech platform, it looks like. And a lot of people are trying to wake people up. How many times have you seen a car with no hubcaps? How many times have you seen an awning and it starts to fade? See the decay? How many times have you seen a pole and the pieces are chipped off and starts to rust? Decay, second law of thermodynamics, sin and death. And so if your mortal body, you're in a mortal body, is going to the grave. Yeah, the life is in the blood, and yes, he will quicken your mortal bodies. It says in Romans 8, the same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead will quicken your mortal bodies, but it's a mortal body. It's going to the grave eventually. I believe in longevity. I believe if you walk by faith and you trust and you live in the truth I think you can stay young for a long time and stay healthy, especially if you cut back sugar. The guy's muffler's messed up. How many times have you had that happen in your life? Unauthorized vehicles will be towed. Rules, laws, regulation. Why are there so many rules? Because you're in the flesh. Everybody's selfish. Why can't I camp up? Why can't I put a camper right here and park? Because this is not my business. I'm messing up the flow of people going into business. But why? I think the Indians knew something we didn't know, Can you really own land? Do you really own land? Or is it a construct? Do you really own the land, or is it a construct? Think about that. Who told you that you own that land? The city or state or country you're in? Can you really own land? Why can't you cross borders? Just start asking questions. Why do all the babies say ma? Why are all the stop signs red? Who controls the languages? Just start asking questions till you get the answer. Then as you keep getting answers, more you keep getting, oh, ma. M is water, A is blood. All the babies say ma. Doesn't matter where you're at. China, Russia, Spanish, whatever. They all say ma. There might be one or two nations where they don't, but the languages is clear, ma. Who controls the languages? Every language, God. Why are all the stop signs red? Because the blood flows. If you stop, there has to be red. If you're stationary, there has to be the color red somewhere in type and shadow. And notice right there, see the green grass? Green, yellow, and red. Green, yellow, and red. If you look over the tree, it goes from green to a yellowish color to a reddish brown color. Green, yellow, red. But most of these people, all they're doing is they're going in here to buy a lottery ticket, going here to buy some beer, and they're going in here to get a snack, but they don't see any spiritual truth. And the whole truth's right in front of them, like that sign, that cigarette Marlboro sign, the black and white is the cross. The black, white, and red is the blood of his cross. But all they care about is the cares of this life, right? Even though the truth is hidden in plain view, nobody can see it. And you want to shake them and say, look, it's right here. Look at the glass. The glass has a reflection. There's a reflection. Sound, everything's a reflection. Sound reflects. You reflect in your mind. It's a reflecting pond. So as you look out, it's a reflection of you. And the reason it's a reflection is because you couldn't understand it if it wasn't already in you. The water's in you. Like you look at that glass and you look at your eyes, there's like a glossy, there's a reflection in your eyes. Everything that you look at is a type and shadow of yourself because you couldn't understand it if it wasn't. That's why you can't understand the alien creatures that are flashing up there, the shape-shifting demons. It's a reflection of yourself. You couldn't understand the water in that ground if you didn't have water in yourself. You couldn't understand the metal in that right there if you didn't have metal in your body. Everybody's got metal in their body. Zinc, iron, etc., etc. You couldn't understand if you were to go over and run your hand through the grass, you couldn't understand it except for you got hair, you can run your hand through your own, the grass on your head, You can't understand what's out here if it wasn't inside first. Because God took you out of the ground and he had to give you a reflection to turn you, the word conversation. So when you're talking to somebody, converse, together turn. So when you're doing a face-to-face talk with somebody, you're both being turned into a new creature. The only reason you can understand spiritual stuff behind the natural is because you're spiritual. If you're willing to listen or look for it or not. You got to knock and seek and ask. Everything's actually free, and all this construct is just it's like a cult. It's a legalistic cult. And one day I hope it clicks for somebody, like a bunch of people.